What's up?
About how much have you ate?
There were 4, and now it's naught. No, a lot. That was tough. Yeah.
Just Herschel, the last scrum. There was rolling subs. Why wasn't Herschel back on?
That's what we need to. I'm pleased you asked that, Craig. We have to correct that. With no rolling subs in the playoffs.
Okay,
It's super.
why was he back on?
Super Rugby rules. We were actually, to be honest, what happened was Wilco Lowe was on, and Kumbara was playing flank. Jaco Kutsia was on the wing, and Sergio was playing scrum off. And that was at the start of extra time, and we would have been under enormous pressure. And then Wilco got something to blow to his nose and started to bleed.
Yeah.
Now Kumbara, the prop, his replacement prop is already on. It's a straight blood replacement. We couldn't send a prop on because the prop was already on.
Yeah.
And I think Province handled, and the match officials handled that really well, because absolutely correct. It was happened to suit us that we could send a scrum off on. It could have been a flank. So we couldn't roll it, and we heard on the ref's mic Egan's telling that Wilco can't carry on. So we just moved Kumbara and and put the scrum off on.
It's crazy competition and the rules changed for the player.
Yeah, I think we were. I can't remember. I mean, I think we were. We were happy. We just wanted to have 23, and we didn't mind rolling subs. But I think that other people felt that it had to be Super Rugby rules. If it had been rolling subs, we wouldn't have had any issue whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever. But we just stuck within the law, and it actually worked out for us in the end.
Do you think, in a way, that now that you have been on the winning side, and do you think a game like this could help you for the final?
I've got absolutely no doubt. I did say in the week that we wanted to be stress tested. I didn't mean quite that. I thought maybe 1912. You know what I mean? It could be a nice stress test, not extra time. But I think we learned a hell of a lot from today. Maybe a couple of areas of selection, a couple of areas around the kicking game, which are poor, which is very poor. I don't think we. I said to you in the week that they might play keep ball. We must be able to prevent that better by whether it's more line speed or stealing the ball better than the breakdown. So we learned a lot. But when I went onto the field, at the start of the 10 minutes to go, and they were entirely calm. They just breathed in, breathed out. Realised they had to play the territory, get the penalty, and exactly what happened. So I think it says a lot for. I know Chris wasn't on, but the leadership that he's put into this group, it was good.
And perhaps, do you think maybe that you lacked a little bit of patience? I mean, you guys were taking the ball wide very early.
Definitely.
Lots of numbers there.
Definitely. We had to be more. Our plan was to be more direct. We were trying to force it. I think there's a little bit of pressure on us, and it may have come from me, which may be my fault. We want to play this rugby that everyone's enjoyed. It's a nice occasion, Newlands against the Bulls, and I think we maybe freestyled a little bit too much. And in fact, I know we did, And what we also did wrong, Stephen, was we didn't take the ball quite as, when we're trying to press the same way, we would sort of get towards the 15 and bring it back into their defence. Whereas, so you didn't get those sort of situations where you got SPL or Trocky in the blind, to get those little passes away to get yards, We didn't really stick to plan, and certainly not in terms of the territory game either. We were frustrated about a couple of areas. Egan's a great referee, but very frustrated with the offside, and that's not just Egan's department. Frustrated that every time we wanted to get them to the scrum, it went down, and he started at the start. And as the game went on, that seemed not to matter too much. And I think they did get away with a couple of things which are very hard to referee. I mean, yeah.
Johnny Coetzee should have probably had a yellow.
Johnny's a mate. He's a vicious boy. They don't get yellow cards.
Chris, but that must have been a good test for the team mentally as well as physically.
I said to the guys now in the huddle that we've had a great season up to now, and Dobbert actually, like he said, now we hadn't really been properly stress tested, and I think the lessons that we'll be able to take out of this is definitely something that. The timing of that will be crucial for us, and we'll do a proper review, and I know we didn't play up to definitely our standards, but I definitely think there's certain things that we will be able to take into next week's game, which is great.
There's a general feeling that maybe the Sharks is the one pack that sort of can match you guys in the tight phases. Do you feel that makes the next week's clash quite interesting in that?
Yeah, for sure, and I actually thought, the Bulls, they came for us at line-out time. I thought they contested very well, and we actually were under pressure there. So that's definitely something that we're going to have to pick up for next week. I thought, especially at the beginning, we struggled to get rhythm on attack, and a lot of that was due to you know, the contesting that they were putting us under pressure at line-out time. And, so it's definitely something we have to look at.
How about someone like SARu came on and gave a lot of energy? And, does that give you pause for thought in terms of your starting 15 next week?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are going to be one or two changes. Luckily, I say the depth, we've got a couple of guys on ice who might come in. SARu defensively was magnificent. They were absolutely superb. So, I thought those guys that came on, I said the first time, last week the bench didn't play a second because it wasn't a second half. And this week they played more than some of the starters. I think, we're going to have to look at recovery. And as I say, we've got a fair amount of reserve strength that we can tweak things. We are going to make a couple of tweaks.
And Paul DeVet seems to be struggling.
Yeah, I think he's a red call. But the good news is Janu is 99% back next week, which will make a big difference to our team, I think.
Rob, I think now that you went into extra time and all that, and you had Chris off for so long, in retrospect, would you take maybe leave if, in a final situation, leave your captain on for longer?
Yeah, I mean, I know he's probably, I know because he's probably irritated with me, but I thought it was going according to plan, and we were trying to sort of build capacity around Salman, because I think Salman's obviously a great player for the future, and I thought, I just had a certain picture of the way it was going, and we could see the Bulls were starting to tiring. We were starting to get the scrum penalties. We were, Joshua, and then obviously didn't go according to plan. So that, definitely. I mean, I'd love to have Chris on the field for the last 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, but last few minutes, there's no way we could get around that. I do think we have to be careful about being too introspective in that the Bulls, I thought they were outstanding. Our plan was to get 2 scores clear, and we were 6-0 up, and when they got that try, they just lifted, and I think a lot of credit goes to Puerto Human and them for what they did there, because they just kept coming back and coming back and coming back, and it was good. Yeah.
Sorry, I got my recorder dying.
That's right.
John, if you look towards the Sharks game at Newlands, obviously, what areas do you think they will test you more than the Bulls did?
Don't even tested much more than that. 45, 42. No, it's a fair. Listen, where they are really good is when they get momentum. They're off. They start offloading a lot. So that gain line battle with them is really, really, really important. We scrummed very well against them last time they were here, and that was without Wilco and Bongi. So it's a good pack of forwards. I mean, they've got 5 Springboks in the front row. So scrum time will be an area, but the most important thing is the gain line battle with them. They direct, and if they win that clash, then the Duprees and Marius Lowe, and then they start the offloading. So that's going to be a much more gain line based game than maybe today was.
All right. Thank you very much.